Imagine that men are from Mars and women are from Venus. The Martians discovered Venus and the Venusians welcomed the Martians with open arms. Their hearts soon experienced a love they had never known before. They then made the decision to fly to Earth. The Venusians and the Martians had great pleasure in spending time together, performing activities, and sharing stuff. Despite coming from different worlds, they found extreme joy in their differences. They explored and learned to respect each other's unique needs, tastes, and behavioral patterns. They lived together in love and peace for many years. Everything was great in the beginning. By the time, the Martians and the Venusians forgot that they were supposed to be different and that they came from separate planets. And since that, there has been disagreement between men and women about many issues. Always, falling in love is wonderful. It seems endless, as if love will last forever. We wrongly think that our feelings are enough to make us live happily ever after. However, once the magic fades and ordinary life returns, it appears that women want men to feel and act like women, and men continue to expect women to think and react like men. Without a certain understanding of our differences, we don't take the time to comprehend and show respect for one another. We turn into angry, demanding, and intolerable people. In some way, the issues keep coming up, the misunderstanding and mistrust grow, communication breakdowns occur, then the magic of love is gone. Millions of couples fall in love every year and then suffer an awful breakup because of the loss of that love. Very few people can grow in love, but it does happen. Love has a chance to develop when men and women can appreciate and accept each other for who they are. Identifying and embracing our differences minimize confusion when dealing with the opposing sex. Remembering that men are from Mars and women are from Venus helps clarify everything. Welcome to Colorful Show. Today we will talk about Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus book for John Gray. Chapter 1. Mr. Fix-It and Mrs. Instructions. The most frequently objection women have about men is that they don't listen to them. They believe that there are two types of men. One type ignores listening completely to your problems, thinking that they are silly and temporary. Another type will listen to you for a short period, then he tries to offer all the available practical solutions he knows. He ignores completely showing empathy and considering his partner's feelings about the problem. He feels down when she doesn't appreciate his efforts to solve her problem. She tells him that he's not listening, he doesn't get it and keeps following the same attitude. She wants empathy, but he thinks she wants solutions. On the other hand, the most common criticism males have about women is that they are constantly attempting to change them. When a woman falls in love with a guy, she feels responsible to support him in his development and seeks to help him becoming a better person. He becomes her focus. No matter how much he opposes her assistance, she never gives up and waits for an opportunity to help him or give him instructions. She thinks that she's caring for him as he feels he's under control. He wants acceptance instead of instructions. The solution to these two issues can be found by first comprehending why men suggest solutions and why women try to change their partner behavior. Assume we travel back in time to witness life on Mars and Venus before men and women arrived on Earth. Power, competence, efficiency, and achievement are valued by Martians. Their primary source of fulfillment is success and accomplishment. They have a greater interest in things and objects than in people and emotions. Men are primarily interested in things that will benefit them. They are satisfied by achieving their objectives and producing results. For Martian to have a positive self-perception, he needs to accomplish these objectives on his own. Nobody else can accomplish things for him. Independence is a sign of strength, ability, and efficiency. Comprehending this particular Martian trait may help women in comprehending why men resist being corrected or told what to do so much. Giving a man voluntarily advice is assuming that he lacks knowledge or is incapable of doing it on his own. Men are sensitive to this because competence is a very important issue to them. Discussing a problem on Mars is a request for assistance. Martians feel satisfied when they help each other. They automatically give advice after listening for a short time to the complainer. This Martian tradition is the cause for men to provide solutions when women discuss their troubles. When a lady naively expresses her unsettled thoughts or openly discusses the issues of her day, a man believes she wants some professional advice and starts offering suggestions. This is how he tries to be helpful and show affection. He wants to solve her problems to make her feel better. But even after he gave her a solution, she still gets upset. It becomes more challenging, his answer is being turned down, and he feels more and more useless. He doesn't know that by simply listening with compassion and interest he will be a supportive person. He is unaware that discussing problems on Venus is not an invitation to propose a solution. On the other hand, Venusians possess different values. They appreciate relationships, love, communication, and beauty. They are encouraging, assisting, and caring for one another. They find fulfillment in connecting and sharing. Since demonstrating one's competence is not as significant to a Venusian, providing support is welcomed, and asking for assistance is not a sign of weakness. Giving counsel and constructive criticism is a sign of love. So, when a woman gives advice, she doesn't mean to hurt the man, but he thinks that she doubts his capacity to handle it on his own. A woman is unaware of this masculine sensitivity. He senses that she is attempting to fix him. He gets a message that he is not enough for her. Chapter 2. Men go to their caves and women talk. There are clear differences in how men and women tend to handle stress. Men become focused and withdrawn while women are feeling emotionally stressed and seeking social support in nurturing relationships. Once more, let's observe life on Venus and Mars and obtain some knowledge about differences between men and women. When a Martian becomes angry, he never discusses the things that are bothering him. He would never bring his problems to another Martian. Rather, he gets quite silent and retreats to his quiet cave to think over his issue and come up with a solution. He emerges from his cave feeling much better after discovering a solution. A Martian feels satisfied when they can deal with their difficulties independently in their cave. In this cave he becomes focused on solving the problem. He loses awareness involuntarily of his surroundings, causing other issues and duties to be postponed. During such moments, he becomes disconnected, disorganized and unresponsive. During conversations at home, it appears like only a little portion of his concentration is focused on the connection, while most of his thoughts are still at work. His complete awareness is not present. He is thinking about his dilemma and seeking a solution. The more stressed, the more he will be gripped by the problem. If he is unable to solve it, he does something to forget his problems, such as reading the news or playing games. If his stress level is indeed high, it requires even more involvement with anything challenging, such as driving a race car, participating in a competition, or climbing a mountain. During his trial to solve the issue, he fails to provide his wife with the attention and feelings she deserves. She finds it difficult to accept him these days because she has no idea how stressed out he is. If only he could return home and discuss all his issues, then she would be able to show greater sympathy. Rather, he keeps his problems to himself, and she feels he's ignoring her. She knows he's sad, but she incorrectly assumes he isn't talking to her. Thus, it seems like he doesn't care about her. Remembering that men come from Mars can help women to understand their partner's stress response as a defensive strategy. If the man recognizes the impact of withdrawing into his cave on women, he can show feelings of empathy towards her and be careful to share his problems and thoughts with her. Remembering that women come from Venus helps him to be more understanding and respectful of her feelings. When a Venusian becomes upset or is stressed, she seeks out someone she trusts and shares her daily concerns in detail. When Venusians discuss their overwhelming feelings, they feel better. On Venus, sharing issues is seen as a show of affection and trust, rather than a burden. Venusians aren't ashamed of their issues. Their identities rely on loving relationships rather than appearances of competence. They openly express emotions of being stressed out, confused, sad, and worn out. We mentioned that a man under pressure tends to concentrate on one issue and ignore others, but a stressed out woman tends to be distracted by all the issues at the same time. By discussing all possible problems without concentrating on finding solutions, she is feeling better. When women discuss their problems, men usually feel uncomfortable. A man assumes she is discussing her troubles with him because she needs urgent solutions for these complicated problems. He's not aware that she's talking to him to feel better. A man doesn't know that woman will appreciate it if he simply pays attention. If he gives her advice on how to solve her problems, she just keeps talking about them. He feels that his suggestions have been turned down and that he is worthless. She needs him to be accepting and calming. This will allow her to continue talking about all her issues. Every Martian will find mental peace when he at last realizes that a Venusian must talk about her issues to feel psychologically supported, not only because she wants solutions. With this knowledge, a Martian was able to listen without feeling like he had to fix every issue. The Venusians likewise must realize that a Martian retreating into his cave did not indicate that he no longer loved her. At these times, she has to become more accepting of him because he is under a lot of stress. Chapter 3. How to motivate the opposite sex. Centuries before the Martians and Venusians came together, they had been content to live in their separate worlds. As the time passed, the Martians and Venusians on their planet suddenly got depressed. All the Martians evacuated the cities and went to their caves when they became depressed. That was until a Martian managed to catch a look of the stunning Venusians using his telescope. He quickly shared his telescope with others. The sight of these lovely beings cheered them. In an unspoken language, the Venusians seemed to invite Martians as if they were saying, "We need you, your power and strength can make us happier." This was an invitation for Martians to travel to Venus. Martians began to feel that they have a new role in life. They must take care of these beautiful fine creatures. They emerged from their caves and started building a fleet of spaceships to travel to Venus. On Venus, the depressed Venusians were eager for the arrival of powerful and amazing Martians. Martians offer Venusians to love, serve, and support them. Suddenly, Venusians felt cherished and appreciated. Men feel motivated when they are needed by weaker individuals. This makes them feel their masculinity. A man gradually loses enthusiasm and becomes bored in a relationship when he doesn't feel needed. As time goes on, he has less to provide the relationship. He feels more empowered and has more to give when he is recognized for his efforts and trusted to do his best to meet his partner's demands. A man finds it difficult to care for his partner when he doesn't feel like he's making a positive difference in her life. He always wants to be the only hero of her story. Being unneeded is a slow death for a man. Feeling that is insufficient hurts his ego. On the other hand, when women feel valued and protected, they are motivated. When a woman in a relationship does not feel cherished or appreciated, she feels worn out from providing too much without getting anything in return. However, she is content and has more to give when she feels valued and cared for. Most men are not aware of how crucial it is for a lady to feel cared for and supported by someone. Women are satisfied when they think their demands will be fulfilled by her partner as possible as he can. When a lady feels distressed, worn out, or hopeless, the most basic thing she needs is companionship and feeling that she is not alone. Martian nature of men prevents them from realizing this. They think that being by yourself is ideal when they're angry. When women feel angry, it's disrespectful to leave her alone. All what she really needs is someone to listen to her and care for her. Chapter 4. Speaking different languages. The Martian and Venusian peoples had many of the same relationship issues that we do now when they first came together. They were able to solve these issues as they realized they were different. A key factor in their success was successful communication. Everyone was aware that Martians and Venusians spoke in different tongues, so whenever a conflict occurred, they never began to judge or fight. Instead, they brought their phrase dictionaries in order to better understand one another. If that was unsuccessful, they looked for assistance from a wise translator. The languages of Mars and Venus contained the same words, but their meanings varied depending on how they were used. It was easy for them to misinterpret each other. Thus, when communication issues happened, they concluded it was just one of those language misunderstandings and that they would understand one another with a little help. They found a level of trust and acceptance that is uncommon in today's world. We still require translators today. Both men and women, even when they use the same words, they rarely mean the same things. For instance, if a woman says, "I feel like you never listen," she doesn't mean the literal meaning of the word never. Using the phrase never is simply a method to deliver the sensation of how annoyed she is right now. Women express their emotions by using a variety of superlatives, metaphors, and generalizations. Men misunderstand these expressions and take them literally. A man accustomed to using speech for the purpose of transmitting solely facts and information. These differences in using language make women feel that they aren't heard and make men feel that their partners are drama queens. When people misinterpret the intended intention, they frequently respond in a hostile way. One of the biggest obstacles for males is understanding women accurately and offering support when they discuss their feelings. On the other hand, the largest obstacle for women is accurately interpreting and supporting men when they are silent. Women tend to misinterpret silence. Very often a man will abruptly stop talking and go silent. She believes that perhaps he is not hearing what is being said and for that reason he's not answering back. Men and women analyze information quite differently. Here's the difference between both sexes when it comes to thinking. Women should think loudly and share their opinions. Men take time prior to speaking or answering to determine the most appropriate or beneficial answer. They formulate it internally first and after that, convey it. This procedure may require minutes or hours to complete. A man might not respond at all if he lacks the knowledge necessary to process an answer. Women must comprehend the meaning of this silence. He wants to say that he is not sure what to say just now. What woman here is, "I'm not replying to you because I don't give a damn and I'm going to ignore you. Since what you said to me is unimportant, I won't be responding." Unclear communication is the main issue in relationships. From the previous we conclude that, by practice and awareness of our differences, women can learn how to deliver their feelings without hurting their partner's feelings. Women will also learn how to give men a space to think freely without being annoyed. Also, men will get experience to understand the true meaning of women emotional expressions. Men also can be trained not to overuse silence during facing their problems. Instead, men can share their thoughts with their partners. Wish that you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a nice day.